Alex would be keen on getting more supply, and certainly getting more social and affordable homes into the system makes sense. The Housing Australia Future Fund would support the construction of around 30,000 additional homes. That's put in place in the same spirit of the National Rental Affordability Scheme, which was put in place under the last Labor government. A lot of that accommodation was provided at the lower end of the market, some of it in university accommodation. University of Canberra here in the ACT built a lot of affordable student accommodation during that time. So that's important in terms of providing the additional supply at that part of the housing market.
Areas. It also seems like it's a large distribution problem, considering there are a lot of houses in Australia that are sitting empty. A lot of people who are homeless. Do you have something to change that distribution problem, namely the negative gearing that exists for investment properties?
No, we've said we won't be taking the same negative gearing policies to this election that we took to the last election. We argued for those at the last election. We weren't successful, and we're not going back with those policies.
Is that an election recalibration, or is that a change of Labor values?
It's a change in policy. So our Labor values are the same: a commitment to egalitarianism, and we're pro-growth progressives. We want to make sure that we're assisting all Australians. But when you lose an election, naturally you go back and reassess the policies, and that's what we've done here.
If the government was serious about addressing cost of living, we would have seen things like abolishing student debt, we would have seen like building more social and affordable housing, we would have seen things like putting dental and mental health into Medicare. Like, those are the things that would make a genuine difference to people's lives, not these short-term pre-election bribes. The other thing that really would help young people is to take the heat out of the housing market, because that not only means that young people are being priced out of potentially owning a home one day, it impacts on rents as well. And obviously, as I did when I was young, a lot of young people need to rent a home. And what we would do is abolish some of the $13 odd billion that is in this budget in terms of tax breaks for property speculators in the form of the capital gains tax discount and negative gearing. They shouldn't exist, and if you got those tax breaks out of the housing market, it would definitely put downward pressure on housing prices, which will put downward pressure on rents, which would be a great thing for young people.
Plus, then there are the other measures that our Greens platform has, like building 1 million affordable homes, which would then put downward pressure on rent, rather than sort of the tax breaks, which basically are going to increase the cost of rent and the cost of housing. And things like having dental care included in Medicare, or mental health treatment included in Medicare, free education, free childcare. All of those measures would be really beneficial, not just for low-income earners, but for middle-income earners as well.